Hey, this is Mark Goldberg from Mark Vlogs Watches, and today I want to talk to you about the concept of shitters. What is a shitter? Now, the reason that this has come up is going to have something to do with the quick wristwatch check that we're about to do. So let's get that out of the way, and then we'll move on to the topic at hand, shitters. But first, my quick wristwatch check. Ball, Master 2 engineered diving world timer from Ball. Okay, let's talk about shitters. Hey, what if the opening that you just saw wasn't the real opening of this show? What if there was a different opening? So let's just hit the brakes and start over. Hey, this is Mark Goldberg from Mark Vlogs Watches, and today we're going to talk about shitters. But before we do that, before we get into the meat and potatoes of this topic, let's do a quick wristwatch check. Rolex, James Cameron, Deepsea Sea Dweller, JC Deep Blue Dial Edition. Now let's talk about shitters. Well, here you are having a quick look around the beautiful greenery of the little dog farm here. And now we're going to have a quick peek at the Rolex James Cameron Deepsea Sea Dweller. This is a watch that I don't think too many people would call a shitter. Although, you know, if you were, the Shah of Iran, if you were a Saudi Arabian sheikh wearing Patek or, I don't know, one of these amazing brands that you had personally made and the watchmaker only makes 5 a year and it's encrusted with diamonds, well, maybe this mass-produced bourgeois watch would be crappy. But for those of us in the watch collecting field, we would definitely say this is a decent watch. It retails for around $12,000 and you can pick them up aftermarket for anywhere between 12 and 14. It is a finely crafted watch. It is mass produced. God knows how many they make, but it is certainly more than a couple per year. But everything is relative. You know, if you are a multi-millionaire and you have a watch box filled with Richard Mille watches, this Rolex right here would probably be your everyday knock-around wear to the gym shitter. So please remember, what is crappy is completely relative to how much money you have to spend on a given thing. Well, here you are looking at my new acquisition, the Ball watch, and some of you love this, I know from the comments on earlier videos like the unboxing, but some of you think it's a complete shitter, which I also know from some of the comments on the unboxing. Now, if you think this is a crappy, shitty watch, that is your prerogative. I'm not here to convince you otherwise. I'm just going to tell you, I really like it. Now, it is nowhere near as finely crafted as the Rolex, but the dimensions of this thing are terrific, and in a little bit we will compare the two of them side by side. So this is not a $14,000, $15,000 watch. This is a watch that retails for around $2,200, $2,300. I paid $1,200 or so for it. It has an internal dive bezel. That's the crown at 2 o'clock operates that. It's got tritium tubes all over it. I'll show you a Lume Shot later on. And it's also a world timer. So that's an amazing function in one watch. Sorry, I meant it's an amazing set of functions in just one watch. When you have a quick look at these guys together, you get a sense of the dimensions. The Rolex on the right is 44 millimeters, whereas the Ball on the left is 45 millimeters. So it is bigger and it wears a bit larger. However, the Ball is only 15 millimeters thick. It's chunky, but it's not nuts. Whereas the Rolex is really thick, like 18 millimeters almost, and it's kind of like wearing a hockey puck on your wrist. So the Rolex more finely crafted, the Ball more humane and with more functions. Now, the action of the bezel on the Rolex is amazing. It far exceeds the action of that internal dive bezel on the Ball. Rolex, it's a finer watch, no doubt about it. But here's a little look at the clasps and the case backs. You know, Rolex with its 904L steel, it's really a thing of beauty. And you can see those tiny serrations around the case back. You need a special tool to open that watch. Well, you would for the ball also, but I just think the Rolex is finer made on the one hand. On the other hand, look at the imprinting on the ball case back. Now, again, I'm not trying to say the ball is every bit as good as the Rolex. I'm just trying to tell you that, you know, for the $1,200 I spent on that ball, I'm not unhappy with it at all. Well, here's a quick Lume shot of the Rolex. The James Cameron looks beautiful with its chromolite. Although the Rolex is beautiful, nothing beats tritium tubes, so I think the ball blows most watches out of the water with the Lume shot that you're seeing right here. Not only are all the Arabics and hash marks illuminated, the hands, but also the spinning dive bezel. Also remember, you don't have to charge tritium tubes, so the ball will just glow solidly for 15 or 20 years. One more quick peek at the face of what some of you will call my shitter, and then we're going to transition over to looking at the James Cameron. I love this picture of the JC. It's such a beautiful watch. But you know what? If you went bareback horse riding, shirtless with Vladimir Putin, if you were a rich Russian oligarch, this would be a crappy shitter that you would only wear to the gym. You know, right now there's a bunch of guys watching this video and saying both the watches that I showed are like fancy, bougie, rich guy watches. And they are busy collecting G-Shocks or Invicta or, you know, buying watches off of the Home Shopping Network for $200 or $300 each. And they think that every watch in my collection is stupidly expensive. And then there are those of you watching it right now who think that, you know, the Rolex is okay, but that ball is a piece of junk. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, oh yeah, this is the ball. So, sorry, sometimes I'm fingering my balls versus my Rolex and I'm not sure which is which, but what I forgot to mention is the ball has both the day and the date. It's got the date at 3 o'clock and it has the day at 6, which is a function that I dearly love. Of course, the Rolex has an in-house movement, and the ball has a highly modified ETA. It's real accurate, and so they've regulated it tremendously. I don't know if it's a chronometer. I should look that up. But I can tell you it's running like 2-3 seconds fast a day. It's an ETA movement where Ball has manufactured and installed their own Worldtime module. Again, I'll do a full review on this for those of you who are interested. For those of you who think it's a cruddy piece of junk, well, you know, that's fine. I don't mind at all. Oh, by the way, was the Rolex Daytona junk when it didn't have an in-house movement and it had the Zenith movement in it? You know, because Rolex didn't always make in-house movements. In fact, actually, look this up if you don't believe me. I don't remember the name of the company, but Rolex only, I think it was in the 90s, bought the movement company that they had been affiliated with for many years. And there was a company that made all the movements for Rolex. They made them only for Rolex, but Rolex didn't own it. And it wasn't until the late 90s. Was it an in-house movement until Rolex actually owned the company? I don't think so. So, you know, it's really, really relative. What is a crap junk watch? What is even an in-house movement is extremely relative. Okay, I didn't, mean to get like caught up in that. That's actually a good video for another topic. Listen, let me tell you real quick why I would be really pleased if you would subscribe and like, or if you're mad at me, dislike this video. But, when I see my subscription numbers climbing slowly up, when I read comments, whether you think I'm crazy or whether you like what I had to say today, it makes me know that I'm not talking all alone, because here I am alone in my den, and I'm talking to a camera on a tripod, and I have no idea if you're listening. So it's really helpful to me to get a little bit of response and reaction. Kind of keeps the journey going. And if you do subscribe and turn on the bell to alert you as to when these videos come, we'll be able to do this again. Anyway, sorry for taking up so much time yakking about junk watches and shitters, but you want to know what? I really like mine, and if you have any, I'm sure you love them too. This is Goldberg, peacing out.
Paint the sky.